Alright guys, Northwest Mechanic here. To all my subscribers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like. I just bought this 2003 Honda Odyssey minivan. It's the XLT about a month ago, and I have to replace the rear pads on both sides. I'm only going to show you this one side though, because it's the exact same procedure for the other side. And then I have to order new valve cover gaskets and then do a oil change on it. Basically standard maintenance. So let's get started. The pads I bought for my van were Bosch brake pads. One thing that you guys probably would not suspect is I did not put that rag in there. It literally came with that rag in there. But the pads are brand new. And here's the brand new hardware. In case you guys just need the hardware for your brake pads, here's the part number. You can pause that if you want to and read that. And yes, the brake pads are really this small. And just in case you don't have a whole entire big tub of lube like I do, they do provide a small tube of brake pad grease, lube grease, whatever you want to call it. But knowing me, I've got this from O'Reilly's Master Pro. So anyway, let's get started. So the bolts that are holding the caliper on to the bracket are 12 millimeter. What I'm doing is I've got my 3/8 inch drive 12 mil 12-point socket with a 1/2 inch to 3/8 inch socket on there, and my 18-inch Craftsman breaker bar. You do not need to have specifically a 12 point for this. You can have a 12 millimeter 6-point. So now you shouldn't have to worry about these bolts being very tight. Some people might feel comfortable about over torquing them, which is not very good. So, and when you're loosening them, do not push towards the rear of the vehicle that's tightening. Instead, you want to go ahead and pull towards the front. And, oh, these are not very tight on there, which is wasn't very good, but wasn't bad either. So I always like to make sure that they're tight, but not over torqued. Oh, and by the way, the lug nuts I have actually right there on the stud, so I don't lose them, and they are a 19 millimeter. I'm not actually replacing the rotor. It's still really good. There's not a lip on here like I thought there would be. So, but let's get this other bottom bolt off. There we go. And should just come right off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the old grease off of these slider bolts, and I'm going to put new grease on them so they don't seize up. They're not that big, actually. So go ahead, put those where you won't lose them. Might as well put this rag to good use. Wipe my hands with it. Yeah, you literally get a free rag with your brake pads if you order through Botched, apparently. Hey, that's cool. Okay, now, some of you, I've seen this, and it kind of makes me cringe a little bit, but to each their own. I've seen people put screwdrivers in here and pry the caliper closed, which I don't like that. I like to actually pry very gently the old caliper off, like that, first, and then use an old brake pad to push it back in. Let's put that right there. Alright. Then just... oh yeah. There's like no grease on here, so I'm gonna have to take this bracket off. And this is a, looks like a 14 or 15. Let's try 14 first. Oh, it's my 15. I had a little trouble finding my 14 for some stupid reason. Okay, that's not it. Oh, here it is. Hiding in plain sight. Wow, that's embarrassing. I've got 14 and 15 here. Yep, just as I thought. It's a 14 millimeter, 6-point. Now these might be on tighter. So, and once again, you want to push towards the front of the vehicle, not towards the back. Because if you push towards the back, you're going to end up breaking the bolt out, stripping it, whatever. It's not very good. Oh, that's very tight. And before I get too carried away, I'm going to actually show you where the two bolts are located back here. Okay. The first bolt is located right there. That's the 14, and then down there. Right there. So, right there and right there. Go. Okay. Now each side should only take you about 20 minutes. Oh! Wow. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, these are on tight, but that's okay. As long as they're not on loose. Or just hand tight. I hate that. There we go. This bracket does look a little rusty, so I want to take it out, inspect it further before I decide to either bring out the wire brush or not. And you do not need to lube these bolts up, obviously, because they're just the bolts for the bracket. I wonder who's home. It's just a good friend of mine. I told her I was working on my van today, so. Oh yeah. I caught these just in time. Ooh. I've actually noticed very uneven pad wear on these. So I don't have the time or the money right now to change out the calipers. So I'm thinking about a couple of years. Yeah, about a couple of years or so. I'm gonna change everything out: calipers, pads, rotors, the whole 9 yards. And I'll be sure to make a video of that. But this is the bracket itself. It doesn't look too bad, like I thought. So just need to take off the old hardware. I'm gonna get the new hardware on first. And so what you want to do is get your oh, there we go, new hardware out. And if you're not familiar with hardware, look and see how the hardware is seated onto the bracket. See here. All right. Yep, that's perfect. I'm gonna get a little rusty. Gonna clean that up a little bit if I can. And my water brushes. All right. Let me show you guys how I do this. Trying to do this with one hand here. Anyway, you guys get the idea. I gotta hold this down on the ground so it doesn't go flying everywhere. There we go. Then go ahead, seat your first hardware on there, your first piece. Now, some of you are probably thinking, why am I not putting lube on the bracket itself? Well, right now it doesn't really need it, and I'm just trying to get this done. So, and there you go. Brand new bracket. Take the old one off. This one actually isn't too bad, surprisingly. So go ahead, put this one on. Make sure you line it up first. Alright, perfect. New hardware seated. Now here is where I am going to put some brake grease on here, and so I was actually on my Instagram and saw a video where a guy put brake grease on the pads themselves, where they go into the hardware, and a couple of idiots said that you shouldn't put anti-seize on them, you know, they'll rust and blah blah. Okay, number one, manufacturers actually label their packaging as either anti-seize for spark plugs or brake grease. So, don't have to frickin' worry about that, okay? So you don't actually have to, you know, freak the hell out. Be like, oh my god, he's putting anti-seize on brake pads. Well, no, he's not actually. He's putting brake pad grease on it. It's, you know, labeled. And it doesn't matter if the spark plug anti-seize comes with a brush or not. It will be labeled on the container as brake lube or brake grease. So just, you know, just please keep that in mind. So believe it or not, the new pads are ready to go on. So always look and see which way the brackets goes on, and then the inside pad always has the little squeaker to it. I call it squeaker. It once the pad gets low, it rubs up against the rotor, letting you know that it's getting close to needing to change your pads. Alright, perfect. And as I put the other one on, and the outside pad does not have a squeaker on it. I'll continue to call it that, guys. So then what you want to do is grab your two 14mm bolts right there, and get the, I always like to get the bottom one started first, so then I can get the top one lined up. There we go. Perfect. Alright. And get these pads. Let me go ahead and tighten these bolts up really fast. I love this ratchet. Yeah, I need to rebuild it, but me being a Craftsman user, sorry all you Snap-on freaks out there, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but oh well. To each their own. If you know, I've been running a Craftsman for like 10 years. Never let me down. Oh. Just realized bad camera angles. Sorry, guys. And also, you can choose to put the pads on after you put the bracket back on, or you can put the pads on before you put the bracket back on. Works out either way, so. Alright, perfect. Awesome. Then take your readjust the camera. Take your caliper tool, take an old pad, and go ahead and retract the caliper back in. Now, I was able to get this tool warrantied out at O'Reilly's. But if you have one of these tools and you broke it, then okay, you can try and get it warrantied out. I was able to. Please not go in. You know, expect them to. Some stores may, some may not. It really just depends on the location. All right, fix it. And then, as I said, go ahead, wipe this old grease off these slider pins. And put some new grease on. Back on. So you guys, I'm trying to get the best camera angles possible here. Get in there. I might. Come on. I'll probably put up a good fight. Okay. Come on, what the hell's going on? Come on. There we go. There we go. Just didn't have it lined up. Then take your second bolt, and put it in Assuming it lines up, then, yep, probably won't line up. Yep. Oh, shit. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to move the camera for a second, better angle, so we can get in here. Holy crap. Yeah, this is definitely not good. Gonna have to... Okay. This bolt's giving me a hard time there. There we go. So take this bolt out. We gotta figure out why the bottom one's not lining up. And I think I know why. Just not 1,000% sure yet. Okay, yeah, that's why. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to, somehow... Yep, that's going in. Why isn't this one... There we go. Going in. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna stick the, bottom one in first. Get that one going. But yeah, I need all new hardware next time I do brakes. Okay, so there we go. Perfect. Alright. So, gonna have to, yeah, this is very unfortunate. Wish that wasn't the case, but that is very much the case. Okay, come on. This is, oh, that's why. Duh. That's my 14 on there. That's why it won't fit. There we go. Okay. And yes, expect some hiccups when you're doing brakes. Whether it be a seized up caliper, seized up caliper bracket, or something like that. Okay, what's going on here? There we go, there we go. Perfect. Alright, well, first side's done. That's it. So that only took about close to half an hour. So, but anyway, the other side is the exact same. You got your 12mm bolts right here. Let me see if I can get you a better angle. Okay, so you got your... Alright guys, I'll be right back in a second, okay? Alright guys, my apologies about that. The wife had called in. She's at work right now. Okay, so the two 12mm bolts this is the first one, and then down here is the second one. So first one and then second one, and then the 214 for the bracket is see if I can see it though, right there, and then the second one is right there. So those are the two or the 4 bolts you have to worry about. And depending on how rusty, the caliper and bracket is, will determine on if you need to take a wire brush to it. I did have to take a wire brush to one side, but the other side was all clear of rust, mainly for some weird reason. I don't know, but hey, works for me. So, alright, this was the passenger side rear brake, and I'm going to go do the driver's side, which is basically the very same. So, let me actually get you the part number for these pads. Here's the part number, right there. And I got them on rockauto.com. So, alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So, I guess I'll see you guys later. Alright, bye.